Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you're gonna watch this. Never one, two, or three, give it a like. Show love or move along. Show love or move along. Show love or move along. Yours truly in the sun, special milk in the sun, special milk in the sun, special milk in the sun. Yours truly today, Dragon gonna do a special edition in the sun. We're gonna do some reading, some meditation. First and foremost, it's already more than 26 degrees, so I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna apply some sun. Sunscreen. I'm gonna take off my pouch. I'm auctioning this red shirt, auctioning this red shorts, auctioning this cup of coffee mug, auctioning this pouch. It has a little bit of a wear and tear since I wore it a lot, marching in it. I didn't even do a lot of workouts in it, but has one pouch, two pouches, and in the front and one on each side, so smaller on each side. I'm auctioning this. Also auctioning, raise funds to pay my $10,000 debt to the Royal Bank of Canada (RBC), which I do owe $10,000 to the Royal Bank of Canada. The government of Quebec is asking me back for $2,200, $2,200. So I'm broke, but my work is gold. I'm broke, but my work is gold. I'm broke, but my work is gold. And yours truly, I'm gonna apply some sunscreen. We're gonna do some meditation in the sun here, close to my underground room off Sun Temple. First and foremost, gonna apply some S. Gonna apply some sunscreen since it is hot, more than 26 degrees. I've been alarmed by the drought in Europe, and drought in Africa, drought in North America, and of course drought in China, as I hear in Asia as well. China supposedly this summer recorded now the highest ever temperatures in more than 61 years, and it began recording temperatures in 1961. So from 1961 to now, in 61 years, it was the highest temperatures on record-breaking temperatures across the world. And also China is, of course, coupled with a drought. And from what I do here, I have to check it again, but there have been reports of the Yangtze, the third biggest river in the world, my river, Snake River, aka St. Lawrence River, my river, St. Lawrence, aka Snake River. My river, Snake River, aka St. Lawrence, is top 30 in the world. I think it's 27th. It's on the top 50 rivers of the world, big, length-wise, width-wise. Hawk Island, Montreal. I live, of course, in the big metropolis city. Montreal reached 1 million population, just the island proper, in 1931. So now it's about 2.5 million, but with the South Shore and the North Shore, Montreal, of course, has about 4.5. Is the second biggest in density and population-wise agglomeration in North America. So from what I do hear reports, I have to check again. I'm going to check again later after the news, after I work, because I've been working since this morning as an independent athlete, independent artist, independent activist, and yours truly, world's greatest living dancing millennial rainbow poet. Not perfect, far from it, with issues, with vices, with lusts, get moody, get upset. Got some brain and some muscle, got some brain and some muscle. Yours truly, androgynous, pansexual, founder of the dancing goddess of the Dragon Kingdom, Adrian H. Dragon-born Adrian Hana Dragon, with issues, with vices, with lusts. Some things I admit I am mediocre at, some things I admit I am average at, other things I admit I am so-so at, some other things I am great at geopolitical analysis and theory. I believe my philosophies and my theories best to be implemented at this point in time for a new world order of world peace, international justice, and secure global freedom and attaining harmony between civilization and nature. And as of course, there's a meeting in Jackson, in Wyoming, the state of Wyoming, Jackson Hole, close to beautiful mountains. Right here, the Mount Royal Mountain, which is part of a mountain system with three peaks: Mount Royal proper, West Mount, and of course Sutra Mountain. The headquarters of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom is of course at the Belvedere on the mountain, Mount Royal, my favorite spiritual place where meeting of spirituality and nature and flora and fauna and civilization, as I'm of course advocating for harmony between nature and civilization by the creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, to be for security and service, the complementary covenant way with the International Integrated Dance League, the dancing goddess, yes, say goddess, Mother Nature is the greatest artist and scientist. All fruits, vegetables, and legumes and made are produced, and with the grains are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun, who now rises and now sets, and now across all of Canada, coast to coast. It is 2:37 p.m. in the EST Hawk Island. That means that Dawe West. We are minus subtract 3 hours, so it is 11:37 a.m. It's still morning on the West Coast. That is on Vancouver, British Columbia time. BC down in Seattle, Washington, and all the way down to California, San Francisco, LA. It is 11:37 a.m. in the morning. So all of Canada, coast to coast, also all of United States of America, coast to coast, the sun is shedding light, life, and heat to make with a black fertile earth, with a black fertile earth, with a black fertile earth, and the rain thereof, and the contents, micronutrients and minerals and vitamins from the sun and the earth combined with the rain, produces, makes, creates all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the legumes, and all the grain that our brothers and sisters, farmers, love you, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Everybody gotta eat. Everybody gotta eat. Everybody gotta eat. Multi-millionaire athletes, if you make a million on the stock market today, please give 10% to food security. If you make a million on the stock market today, please give 10% for food security. If you make a million on the stock market today, please give 10% to food security. 10% of a million is 100,000. I'm here, yours truly, Adrian Hanna, Dragon, independent artist, independent athlete, the people's athlete with some brain and some muscle. Admit that I got issues, I got vices, I got lust. I don't play at the self-righteous. I'm a universal spiritual teaching student with questions. I'm not dogmatic, non-sectarian, but with principles. My principles, of course, and of course the calling all willing living to support the implementation of my trinity of theories: citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, democratic fusion theory. The trinity of theories which I've written over the past 7, 8, 9, 10 or so years, as I've made the libraries of the city of Hawk Island, Montreal, my second home, and the many tens of thousands of books. My friends, I've read tens of thousands of pages of philosophy, poetry, art, theory, and philosophy and everything on civilization and nature. And I've also written and typed typed in USB keys or USB keys or by hand. Many theories, geopolitical analysis, and theories and philosophies and songs with a rock and roll song, some rap. You don't want me to start rapping a deliciously disgusting diatribe at this moment under the sun. I'm gonna rap for the farmers, rap for the truckers, rap for the grocery store clerks. Clap, clap, clap for the farmers. Clap, clap, clap for the farmers, for the truckers, for the farmers, for the farmers, for the farmers and the truckers and the grocery store clerks and the butchers and the bakers and the bakers and the butchers and the cooks and the construction workers, warehouse workers. Yeah, rapid flex it up. A deliciously disgusting diatribe of rap. Yours truly, people's rapper and people's athlete. Not perfect with issues with vices. Action is required. I encourage you all to work out, train, exercise regularly. Push-ups, hop squats, do my creative workout, the general integrated all body training system, aka the Dragon Army workout, which I've created, made, and designed to go hand in hand with the World War III scenario, in which in a nearly paradoxical, providential way resembles the COVID-19 health and financial crisis. And since it resembles it, that's what I'm advocating for: the mass financing. People to work out, train, exercise via the Dragon Army, mass financing. People to work out, train, exercise via the Dragon Army, mass finance. People to work out, train, exercise via the Dragon Army. Before I proceed, I want to say that I'm thankful, grateful that my rent is paid in full, my electricity bill is also paid in full. I've fulfilled my duty, obligation, and responsibility to both pay my rent as a citizen, pay my electricity bill, both paying my rent in full, paying my electricity bill in full as a citizen. I'm in a financial crisis. I'm open for business, for donation, auctioning this, in an economic, financial, commercial crisis, the worst of my life, but I got millions and trillions of kisses. Kisses got, money don't. Anybody wants kisses? Hugs, some brain and some muscle with that. Ally, army, ally, pledge your allegiance, legions, pledge your allegiance, legions, pledge your allegiance, legions. I'm not perfect. Some things, like I said, I am mediocre, I am perfect, I am average. I'm learning every day. So today I'm gonna be grateful, thankful. Grateful, thankful that my rent is paid in full. My electricity bill is also fully paid. So I have fulfilled my duty, obligation, and responsibility to both pay my rent and electricity bill. Please, 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 once you step outside in the public, increase in hygiene, wash your hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer, wash your hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer, wash your hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer. Right here, I'm a few meters away from my underground, literally underground room off some temple, but I'm still in the private quarters. If I go in the public, added responsibilities, duties, and obligations, an added dimension of the public is added to me being a private citizen. Could have stayed home, could have stayed just in the private, not made any video, stayed in bed, could have danced naked. My put public my naked dance for world peace, $1 million to pay my $10,000 debt to the RBC, give the $2,200 back to the government of Quebec, which they're asking me for, and of course to sponsor my sisters art, sponsor my sisters art, sponsor my sisters art. 1 hour, 1 million for a naked dance, best dance you ever seen. So I'm doing this meditation on the events, current events that are transpiring around the world. I do say that we did with solutions that we gotta focus on. I believe firmly at this point in time that the implementation of my trinity of theories, known as citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, and democratic fusion theory, are best to be implemented at this point in time, where we are locally, as much as I'm a rainbow global citizen, part of the LGBTQ community, I'm a Quebecer, I'm a Canadian, I'm a North American. My own geopolitical theory is, of course, that North America constitutes a collective North American civilization, that there is a collective North American civilization which has been forming since the Second World War and is emerging and is in development with a multiplicity of factors as I'm speaking now, economic, social, cultural, and even the infrastructure. I've lectured before, I'm gonna lecture again, and I'm gonna lecture now briefly on in my geopolitical theory that North America constitutes a collective civilization is, of course, the fact that in the Second World War, the civilization arose, a collective civilization of North America in response and a direct response and reaction to the fact that Western civilization was in conflict. Nation states within Western civilization and ideologies of fascism, communism, extreme right wing, extreme left wing, authoritarian clashed. And of course, nation states within Western civilization were at war with each other. Some say the Germans were at war with the whole world. Some say the Germans were at war with the whole world. Some say the Germans were at war with the whole world. So in reaction and response to that, the collective North American civilization started forming, not fully divorced but distinct from Western civilization. Distinct but not fully divorced from Western civilization. Key terms to understand: divorced but not fully distinct from Western civilization. So it's forming as I'm speaking now, and I'm a proponent of it. For the collective North American civilization as a North American geopolitical analyst and theorist and philosopher and artist and athlete. Of course, my theory, Dawei, is the West. Dawei is the West. The Pacific in the back of me is the East. That's the Atlantic. One border, two oceans is my North American policy for the collective North American civilization in order to secure of prosperity, security, and ensuring of liberty. For the prosperity, securing, and ensuring of liberty. From the prosperity, security, and insurance of liberty is we got two borders. That is correction. Two oceans, one border. 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 That's my policy for security, prosperity, and implementation of my trinity of theories, known as citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, and democratic fusion theory, which I do firmly believe that at this moment in time they're the best for their implementation in order to have to break the impasse, to break the impasse, to break the impasse. I have faced personal impasse, personal struggles. I've been depressed and suicidal. My own healing and transformation has required action. As much as I've trained and sophisticated my brains and can have created a deep psychological, as an independent psychological analyst and theorist, and of course geopolitical analyst and theorist, as much as can be sophisticated and cosmopolitan and verbose in the language, sometimes it's best to be straightforward and direct, like I'm gonna be now. Attention, warning. My rent's paid in full. I'm grateful, thankful. My obligation, duty, and responsibility to pay my rent has been fulfilled. My duty, obligation, responsibility to pay my Electricity bill has been fulfilled. The two bills, responsibility, obligation, all that fulfilled. What I could use right now is a good massage therapy session. I cannot afford it. It's too expensive. So the Dragan Army to be East, West, North, South to be for Security and Service, officially titled the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragan Army is what I'm calling for. The Dragan Army, aka International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force to be for security and service, integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations, to be complementary in a covenant cooperative way to the International Integrated Dance League, the Dancing Goddess Army, to be for pleasure and purpose, pleasure to dance, to organize dancing for pleasure and purpose, for attaining harmony between civilization and nature, and harmony between civilization and nature, harmony between civilization and nature, harmony between civilization and nature by education and action, by education and action, by education and action. This by education and action. To be a complementary to the Dragon Army, to be for service and security. Services with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love, and the principle that harm none. With consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love, and the principle that harms none. With the principle that harm none principle, consent, mutual understanding and love. All services to be able to what can a dragon do? First, you got to do the general war integrated total body training system, my own creative workout, which is the examination, and the de facto standard training program for the maintenance of fitness and the development of fitness, and is the standard test for the Dragon Arm. The examination. General Integrated Total Body Training System is a simple, effective, and efficient workout training program which have developed and created and have performed more than 270 sessions so far. I think 279th yesterday, so we're getting close to the goal of 300, and at 300 will be probably maintenance. But until then, it increases general overall fitness. It increases general overall fitness. It of course increases general overall fitness. My workout, simple, effective, and efficient. The rules are simple. You got 93 minutes to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hawks. That holy sacred trinity of my workout. Push-ups, hawks, squats. 100 for each had to be done in 93 minutes. Maximum 13 repetitions per set. Minimum 3. Anywhere in between 7, 6, 5, 10, 9, 8, whatever the numbers. I recommend 10 times 10 is an easy count to get to 100. Between sets, there's a minimum requirement of 31 seconds of marching or jogging or running or walking fast pace in between 31 seconds. You can do it within the rules. You're eligible to become a member of the Dragon Army for security and service. That's what I'm calling for, advocating for all public, private partnerships, all corporations, all citizens, all governments, the collective North American civilization of NATO first, then with our allies, Israel, Middle East, my brothers in Africa, brothers and sisters in Africa, brothers and sisters in Africa, Latin America, from the collective North American civilization from Hawk Island, North America, yours truly, Eden Hana Dragon, androgynous pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon King. It was not perfect. I got issues, got lusts, got moody. My own healing has required action. And our transformation and change, as I'm calling for, in basics, what I'm calling for is to move towards a post-COVID economic, financial, commercial, social, philosophical, cultural, even spiritual, political system for pleasure and purpose. Purpose to attain harmony between civilization and nature, to secure and ensure freedom for more justice, and of course for pleasure, to have some joy, services with the Dragon Army. All services, for example, what can yours truly, Dragon Zero, me, Dragon Zero. Motto of the Dragon Army is nobody is born a dragon, you become one. I'm not born a dragon because of a surname. The blood, sweat, and tears, and tens of thousands of push-ups, tens of thousands of squats, tens of thousands of hawks, millions of marching steps in steel-toe boots to turn that A into a no. As I'm turning it now in this, with these sun rays, I'm turning that A into a no with these sun rays. I'm shedding on me the light, life, love of my king, my king, my king. Turning that A into a no now. Turning that A into a no now. My surname. Nobody's born a dragon. Embodies a philosophy. You can be an ally, supporter, citizens of the Dragon Army to be for security and service, for security and service, for security and service. Services, what can I do? Dragon Zero to my willingly loving allies and armies, to my willingly loving allies and armies, to my willingly loving allies. I can cook, I can clean, I can kiss, I can massage, I can dance, I can rap. I can write, I can march, I can work out, train, drill, hut, 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 pass, hut, hut, pass, hut, hut, hut. I can do. I can also meditate, take a long hour, 2 hours, 3 hours bath. So I'm grateful, thankful now as I'm sitting in the sun, calling all willing, loving, and I encourage you to please increase in hygiene in public. Wash your hands with soap and water and disinfectant. Please increase in hygiene in public. Wash your hands with soap and water and disinfectant. Please increase in hygiene in public. Wash your hands with soap and water and hand sanitizer and disinfectant. I want to say thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, truckers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, construction workers, changing the pipes underneath, pipes for the water, the infrastructure, the roads. Thank you, love you, kiss you, daycare workers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, nurses. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, doctors. Thank you, love you, kiss you, warehouse workers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, butchers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, cooks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, warehouse workers, bus drivers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, pilots. Thank you, love you, kiss you, train conductors. Thank you, love you, kiss you, teachers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, sanitation workers of the city. Thank you, love you, kiss you, pick the garbage this week or pick the recycling this week. We're gonna pick the compost this week. And you'll pick the compost for the composting, better nature and civilization harmony. The recycling and the garbage city workers, all those trucks who drive the trucks or who do the physical labor to take the garbage or the recycling or the compost, put it in that big truck. Sanitation workers of the city, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. All the warehouse, the dock workers, thank you, love you, hug you, kiss you. Calling all to the global Dragan Union, which is my ideas and implementation for an international 21st century. International 21st Century Workers Alliance, with 11 holy, sacred, and divine principles. Please try to limit gossip. Give everybody second, third, even third chances or more. Give everybody even second and third chances or more. Give everybody second, third chances or more. Everybody deserves a warning, benefit of the doubt, a warning, benefit of the doubt, a warning, benefit of the doubt. In a parallel life, I know satellites, microchips, supercomputers, ICBM rockets, smartphones. In this life, I know geopolitics, poetry, philosophy, rap, dancing. Got some brain and some muscle. As yours truly is the androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess of the Dragon Kingdom, which is my world peace work, calling all for world peace. I do understand that, of course. Peace, charity starts, of course, at home. I admit I'm in need of charity right now. I'm in need of charity right now. Charity. Though my rent's paid, electricity bill is paid in full. If I could get somebody by the time this video is posted, somebody write to me, love you, Dragon, love you, Dragon, love you, Dragon. If it's not about love, and love is action, love is action, not just blah blah blah. Because I can philosophize, verbose, intellectual, cosmopolitan, academic language in 10,000 of words which are overly sophisticating, denoting correlations between different ideas and interparts, and dissect to the minuscule detail of the verbs and the analysis of the syntax and the phrases. And it perhaps will muddle. Perhaps it will be too confusing, perhaps it will be not necessary. Sometimes it's better to be straightforward and direct. My rent's paid, electricity bill is paid. What I could use is more loving, and a good fucking massage. That's what I could fucking use. Tom Brady calling Dragon Zero, Tom Brady, come. Let's do a live stream for world peace. Gonna get up. Tom Brady, get in the neck. Get in the neck. Get a massage, gonna live stream it. Tom Brady massages my back and my neck. Gonna rate it with rapping 1 to 10 or 0 to 10. 6 always gets a 6.6. Always closer to 7. Let's go, Brady. Get in there. 8. Because it's expensive. Cannot afford it. But neither maybe many of the truckers or the farmers cannot afford it with the prices increase in the grocery store. Got my brothers and sisters in the warehouses. My brothers and sisters in the butchers, the bakers, and the warehouse workers and the truckers and the farmers. Maybe also they need it. So the Dragon Army can be for security and service. I can do massage. I can clean, cook, dance, rap, art. To be for security and service. To be for security and service. The Dragon Army for security and service. 1-800 Dragon Army phone number. 1-800 Dragon Army number. 1-800 Dragon Army number. with applications. It's a work in progress. I'm looking for volunteers, willingly living volunteers, supporters, advocates, allies, and army. A Dragon army complementary in a covenant and cooperative way to the dancing goddess army. One cannot go without the other. One cannot go without the other one. Cannot go without the other. Just as Adrian is also Hana, Adrian is also Hana, Adrian is also Hana. Androgynous pansexual founder, philosopher, geopolitical analyst, and theorist, member of the LGBTQ community, independent artist, independent athlete, independent activist, the people's athlete, universal revolutionary centrist, universal revolutionary centrist, universal revolutionary centrist. I believe the implementation of my ideas, theories, three main theories: citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, democratic fusion theory, are best at this point in time for their implementation. Their implementation in order to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, officially the name International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army, with the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, like two sides to a coin, the sun and the moon, nature and civilization, for harmony between nature and civilization, and for moving towards a post-COVID economic, financial, commercial, spiritual, social, political, environmental, philosophical, artistic, social, and spiritual, and philosophical world system of pleasure and purpose. The Dragon Army for services, so easy accountability with applications, online, live streamed, and no judgment, no shame, no without consent, mutual understanding, hygiene, and the principle that harm none. All services be offered by the Dragon Army to my brothers and sisters, allies, and armies, citizens, supporters, subjects. Secure food, housing, and transport. Secure food, housing, and transport. Secure food, housing, and transport. Public-private partnership, the implementation of my trinity of theories, have the Dragon Army integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations and security forces, offer all services with applications. Maybe a trucker coming or going out of Montreal is going to drive 13 hours today or 11 hours. Halfway he's going to get a neck, he'll drive better, he's going to need a half an hour massage. Dragon Army to be Canada, US, Mexico, throughout the collective North American civilization. The collective North American civilization. Dragon Army, first and foremost, binational, just like the NHL, babies. Not really National Hockey League. NHL is actually binational, just like the National Basketball Association, NBA. It's actually binational. Dragon Army to be for security and service. To be for security and service. To be for security and service. Maybe just need a hug. They just need some company. Just need to do some push-ups. Just need to laugh a little bit at their at and with their Dragon Zero. If I can make you laugh a little bit, make you comedy, that's okay. But we gotta also do some serious business and some comedy. I'm not a fucking dictator. I'm not a fucking tyrant. I admit, tiny hands, tiny feet. Got a little androgynous scar clip dick. We got that out of the way. We can move towards a more serious business. Comedy, humor to ensure liberty and security and freedom. If we are to move towards a maturity in our relations with each other, this complex collective North American civilization with different elements, different, so much diversity of our own natures, mind, a little bit intense sometimes, a little bit, sometimes maybe too academic and intellectual and sophisticated, perhaps sometimes too straightforward and direct. I need a fucking massage right now, somebody to say I love you on the YouTube. It's not about love. Stay 2 meters away and don't mention me. And Dragon Zero, I fight my own battles, baby. I fight my own battles, baby. I fight my own battles. When a freestyle rap battle me, a freestyle rap battle. If you want to dance battle me, you can dance battle. I'll put on the gloves, gentlemen. You like sportsman-like, lady-like, whatever like, sportsman-like. You put on the gloves and we can go toe-to-toe. We can go toe-to-toe. Box, we can dance battle, freestyle rap battle, or we can box battle. Would rematch, sportsman-like, or whatever. Dragon Zero fights his own battles, baby. Don't hack me, CC's RCMP, 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 and NSA, 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 CIA, CIA, Stasi, Stasi, Stasi. Well, Stasi's are gone after November 1989. FSB, former KGB, FSB, former KGB, FSB, former KGB, Mossad, 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 Yaga, Yaga, Yaga. I watched a little bit of pornography out of movies during the weekend. I even masturbated earlier this morning. I think even last night. I fell asleep. So don't need to. Keep on reading from a piece of paper, Mr. Jens Stoltenberg. Um, Leaders of the free world. If somebody's not making love tonight or now, what are we fighting to save West Side free will for? Huh? Stock market, buy, sell, trade, stocks, forex. Multi-millionaire athletes, hot, hot, hot. Multi-millionaire actors making 30 million a movie. That's what we're fighting to save civilization for. Freedom. What are we fighting to save the free will for? You saw the prices of gas double, more than double than in COVID. You saw bacon $9.99. I never seen it so high. So debts. They never addressed the interest. Dancing Goddess and Dragon Kingdom limit all the interest after debt refusion theory put into implementation. Limit all interest to 10%. Limit all interest on all cards, all loans to 10% after debt refusion. Debt refusion theory put into application and action. I'm gonna take a sip of this milk. Thank you for the cows and the farmers for the milk. For the cows and the farmers and the milk. Thank you for the farmers for the cows and the milk. That's a good glass of milk. If we are to fight homophobia, just yesterday I've dealt with homophobic hate online comments. I don't argue much, man. I don't argue much. It was a little bit of an argument about the percentage. How many percentage of people are LGBTQ like me? And I said millennials at least between a little bit about between 7 and 10% that are out of the closet, out of the closet, out of the closet. And of course, there was somebody said it's zero, it's less than 1%. I said no, it can't be. Whatever statistics the survey how it's made, from what I know, it's more than 7. And patriarchal sports league don't say Kal Nasib. Kal Nasib is the only one who's LGBTQ in the patriarchal sports leagues. Kal Nasib, the bravest, fierce motherfucker on the motherfucking field, man. What's happening to Kal Nasib, my question in the NFL? Brothers, I was gonna say brothers, because let's face it, there's not even one women's sports league which makes even close economically, financially, commercially to what the aforementioned NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, the patriarchal sports leagues make. Please give 10% to women's sports leagues. Please give 10% to women's sports leagues. Please give 10% to women's sports leagues. It's not even close. They don't even make close financially, economically to what the aforementioned they make. Economically, financially, commercially to what they make. There's not even one women's sports league which makes close the money to what they make. Economically, financially, commercially, financially, economically. So please give 10% to women's sports leagues. And Kal Nasib, after so many decades, was the only one to play ever at being open gay in the NFL on the field in regular season. The only one in so many decades. And there's one on each team of the NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB. On each team, there's one at least, minimum, who's LGBTQ, but for economic, financial, commercial reasons in the closet. I know. Anyway, so if we are to fight homophobia, LGBTQ exclusive and be inclusive and diverse, racism exists to different degrees, XYZ. The only way I know how to fight it, kisses, hugs, and some action, because love is action. If I just blah blah blah, just like I would say, well, I'm advocating for the mass financing of people to work out, to train, and to exercise. mass advocating for people to work out, to train and to exercise. I'm mass advocating for people to work out, to train and to exercise. And I don't do it. And I've done more than 270 videos since during COVID. And as I say, Adrian H died during COVID. Being reborn, Adrian Hannah Dragan, androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. Androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess kingdom. What kisses got? A new CV, new curriculum vitae. New CV is this. I put in more philosophical, artistic, spiritual, economic, spiritual, physical, philosophical, geopolitical, intellectual, academic, spiritual work than all the leaders of the free world combined during COVID. And I've also did more marching than all the generals of NATO combined in steel-toe boots during COVID. I've marched more than all the generals of NATO for world peace in steel-toe boots in Al-Qaeda and than all the generals of NATO combined during COVID. I marched more than all the generals of NATO combined during COVID in steel-toe boots and put in more philosophical, physical, artistic, spiritual, intellectual, geopolitical work than all the leaders of the free world combined during COVID. I've put in more intellectual, philosophical, artistic, poetic, spiritual, cultural, geopolitical work than all the leaders of the free world combined during COVID. That's my new CV, simple, straightforward, and direct. Calling all willing to living here on this 25th. Is it 25th or 24th? Let's see what time it is. It is 24th of August, 3:08 p.m. EST, 3:08 p.m. 24th of August. I'm just gonna stretch a bit. If you don't mind, I'm gonna take a little minute to stretch a bit. Just my legs a bit. For 1 minute, we'll be back. That was a good stretch. It is stretch. Encourage all to work out, train, exercise today. Increasing hygiene in public. Wash your hands with soap and water or hygiene. Disinfect with hand sanitizer. Working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will continue to be medicine and therapy for yours truly. And I believe it is for many. Try to do my workout challenge in the patriarchal sports leagues, athletes, and the CEOs thereof. In the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, to try to do my workouts. Push up for push up, squat for squat, hawk for hawk, marching step for marching step, especially those that are more than an hour long, an hour and a half, even 2 hours long, 2 hours and a half, close to 3 hours, not taking into account my 10 to 15 minute introductions, but some of my workouts you see there, hardcore in the sun, I've done a few of them about during the summer, during July, early August of this month. It is 24th of August in the sun, yours truly here, philosophizing, calling all willing and loving to support the mission, vision, and philosophy of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, that is, implement my trinity of theories, the citizen integration theory, debt fusion theory, and democratic fusion theory. The trinity of theories to be implemented in order to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragonomic, to be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations, to be for service and security, like I said, services with consent and hygiene, mutual understanding and love on the principle that harm none, all services. Cooking, cleaning, massaging, washing, taking the children out to play, taking the children out to do an exercise, to play some football, soccer, whatever, to dance, half an hour, whatever. Children are driving the parents crazy. They're too hyperactive. They don't want to over medicate them because they just need to sweat a bit. But to channel and sublimate the energy, which are key words of my philosophy. Channeling, and sublimating and channeling, not repressing, but channeling and sublimating. That energy we use, just like I admit that I have aggression at times, more or less different intensities. Just like my emotions fluctuate. Sometimes I'm a little bit angry, moody Scorpio, moody Scorpio, moody Scorpio. Channel, sublimate and channel. Workout, train, exercise. Workout, train, exercise. Workout, train, and exercise. Exercise, channel, and workout on the daily, on the weekly, a few times. It's great medicine. It is my medicine and therapy of choice. My therapy, medicine and therapy of choice. The feelings, the emotions, the manner, they gotta be understood for understanding my own nature and others and our competencies, forces, and our wills. The philosophy of the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. How do we invest in the body? By working out, training, exercise. Then by hygiene, by taking a good bath and shower, brushing the teeth, of maintenance, of hygiene. The body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. Don't got no money to invest in the stock market, and please, if you made $1 million on the stock market today or will make $1 million this week or made it in the past, please give 10% to food security. For food security, 10% for food security, 10%. So calling all to support the implementation of my trinity of theories known as CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, DRT, Debt Fusion Theory, and DFT, Democratic Fusion Theory. By those theories implemented to create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the International Integrated Dance League with the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force and the International Integrated Dance League, known as the Dancing Goddess Army and the Dragan Army. The Dragan Army to be for service and security, all services that the Dragon can do and is willingly loving to offer, is willingly loving to offer, is willingly loving to offer. Secure food, housing, and transport. 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 After that trinity of civilization is secured food, housing, and transport, public-private partnership. Fourth dimension to that trinity, services. Implement my theory, debt refusion theory, DRT. Basically, DRT is taking all private and public debt. If private debt of private citizens such as myself is represented by X, if I'm X1, you're X2, and there's hundreds of thousands, millions, maybe hundreds of millions, the North America, Europe, Euro, NATO member countries in Israel, Africa, brothers and sisters in Latin America, South America, East, West, North, South, globally, worldwide. So taking all private and public debt, putting it together, X represents the private citizens' debt, such as if I'm X1, then adding yours, mine, all of the X's, and Y would represent the public debt of cities such as Montreal, Canada, US, Germany, Israel, taking the public and the private debt. Since it is Israeli new shekels, it could be Israeli new shekels, the Israel's currency called Israeli new shekel. Or Germany no longer has the Deutsche Mark, but now has the euro, pesos in Mexico. So all those currencies have to be converted and converted into US dollars, or those currencies converted into US dollars. All those currencies converted into US dollars. Whatever the number is, with this number, finance, credit, the global central bank, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom's bank, to create whatever the number is, and then create a new currency called the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, UEU, the UE, the UE. One UE, two UE is 100 UEs. The UEs, to have the U's, 100 U's are 100 is one UE. Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit. Because money is basically an exchange unit. To change, to trade, to facilitate services, businesses, creation, development. Sometimes we get obscure and 10,000 words to say that, well, basically money is buy or sell. Money is to buy or sell, buy or sell. So debt refusion theory, implement debt refusion theory, create a number, whatever the number is, with that number finance the global central bank, put all interest at 10%, put all interest at 10%, put all interest maximum 10% for business loans, school loans, project loans, other loans, personal loans, all loans 10%, maximum 10%, can be lower, 9%, 8%, preferably by biometrics, the hand, the voice, and the eye being unique biometric identifiers. The voice, the eye, and the hand being unique biometrics. The eye, the voice, the eye being unique biometric identifiers. The UE, the UE, the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, the UE, create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions to be integrated with all existing public and private institutions and organizations for pleasure and purpose. Dragan Army to be for security and service, secure food, housing, and transport, secure food, housing, and transport, secure food, housing, and transport, and then the fourth dimension, services. What I can serve, how can I serve my allies and armies? Well, I can dance, I can massage, I can kiss. Kiss I got. Kiss has got 718 trillions. I'm the forgotten goddess who sent one kiss to her sister below, and that kiss turned into 718 trillions of kisses. So Kiss has got money, $10,000 in debt, but debt refusion theory, my theory put into practice, will take that debt, right? Ah, milk. It's 2 plus 2 does equal 4, but doesn't mean that we gotta write 2 plus 2 in only black, or only white, or only red, the color of the Dragon Army, my favorite color, or only green, the color of the Dancing Goddess Army. We can write it in all the colors of the rainbow plus the black and the white. The two, we can write it in red. The plus, we can write one line black, the other white. The other two, we can write it in green. The eagle, we can write one line black, the other white, or vice versa. Black, white, white, black, white, black, 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 white. And the four, we can write one line orange, the other purple, the other orange or pink. So we can have all the colors of the rainbow plus the black and the white. In the 2 plus 2 equals 4, because logic, mathematics, and the rational world can be complementary, coming into the subconscious, to the emotional, the irrational. They gotta work together, break the impasse. Because it takes brain and muscle to maintain and build and hopefully upgrade civilization. Is gonna take some brain and some muscle, and yes, some art, some joy, some humor to break the impasse and to heal. And sometimes laughter is a good medicine. Working out, training, exercising with some laughter is my medicine and therapy of choice. Bah, I'm not perfect. I got issues, got vices, got lusts. I'm not the self floating on a self-righteous cloud and totally selfless as I am a universal spiritual teaching student. Sometimes I have lust and cravings. I want to eat a little bit of bacon. I cannot afford it this month. It was $9.99. I see it used to be $4.99. It went from $4.99 to $9.99. It was $4.99, $5.99, $6.49, $6.99, $7.99, $8.99. Now it's $9.99. I couldn't believe my eyes. So yes, a little bit of good bottle of wine, some good wine, some good schnapps, some good whiskey. Sure, good twerking, good twerking, good twerking. I'm learning on my twerk game. I'm gonna twerk for world peace soon. So using art and humor as well, comedy to art to have fight racism. How I know to fight it for my allies and armies, whatever. Where you're born, I was born many past lives, many incarnations. Was born many past lives, many incarnations across nations, many past lives, incarnations across nations. Hugs and kisses and some action. Love is action. If I just blah blah blah, I advocate for the mass financing of people who work out, train, exercise, and I don't do it. Yeah, something odd, something doesn't add up. Workout, train, exercise. Workout, train, exercise. Workout, train, exercise. Workout, train, exercise has been, is, and will be medicine and therapy for yours truly. As I believe it is for you, have been, am, and will advocate for the mass financing of people who work out, train, exercise. But if I just advocate for something and I don't do it, then something odd doesn't add up. So I also take action. For my own healing has required action. Coming out from depression, being suicidal, down and out. using the energy, sometimes intense, intense, intense. Now I'm a bit hyperactive. I had 3 cups of coffee since this morning. I had 3 cups of coffee in the morning. 3 cups of coffee since this morning. That's why now I'm just drinking plain milk. I'm gonna put it to good use now to get my brain to call all willing loving, make this video. Thank. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, farmers and truckers, grocery store clerks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you, truckers, grocery store clerks, farmers. Farmers, truckers, grocery store clerks, nurses, doctor, sanitation workers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, butchers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, construction workers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, warehouse workers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, doctors, nurses. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bus drivers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, cooks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, butchers and bakers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, those working in sanitation of the city who are taking the garbage, taking the compost, taking the recycling. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. Construction workers, thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. Sanitation workers, thank you, love you, kiss you. Bakers and butchers, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. Farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. Farmers, truckers, those loading and unloading the trucks with farm goods such as potatoes, oranges, fruits, vegetables, and legumes, which are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with the brother and the son, but which are harvested by one of my brothers and sisters, farmers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you. Grocery store clerks, warehouse workers, dock workers, those bus drivers, pilots. Thank you, love you, kiss you, pilots, bus drivers, those with the trains, with the freight trains. How many trucks going east, west, north, south, north, throughout the collective North America? Right, in Canada, US. There's maybe 156, maybe 418, maybe 718, more than 718, going east, west, or throughout North America. How many? Maybe they need a massage because they cannot afford it. It's getting too expensive. They've been driving so much. 6 hours, they gotta make a stop. Dragan army to east, west, north, south, east, west, rural, urban. Security and service integrated with all existing public and private institutions for security and organizations. Be able to offer some services, whatever services available, whatever services to be given. Help with the children, help with the cooking, help with the cleaning, some painting, plumbing. Thank you, love you, kiss you, plumbers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, plumbers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, plumbers. Plumbers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, the plumbers. Thank you, love you, kiss you, plumbers. And now we're gonna do a little bit of reading because we've done a lot. We've done some meditation, some philosophizing. I'm just gonna wrap it up, the philosophical part. And let's say that thank you, love you, kiss you, hug you again, the farmers, the truckers, the grocery store clerks, as I am calling all willingly loving, the dancing goddess and the dragon king. Yours truly, Adrian Hana Dragon, with a new CV, as I've died during COVID, triple vaccinated. Encourage people hygiene. Wash your hands with soap and water, disinfectant. I'm opening carrying my disinfectant here, see. Hand sanitizer, hand sanitizer, hand sanitizer. Calling all willingly loving to the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Support the implementation of my trinity of theories known as citizen integration theory, debt refusion theory, and democratic fusion theory. By the trinity of theories create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragon Army to be for security and service, with the International Integrated Dance League, the Dancing Goddess Army to be for pleasure and purpose, for attaining harmony between nature and civilization, So by those theories put into action, for example, concrete example of what citizen integration theory is, which is to combat alienation is to, for the Dragon Army or the Dancing Goddess Army to encourage citizens to go visit, for example, farming, how the farms grow, how the farm operates, how the recycling plants operate, how garbage is being processed, how the dams here, 63 dams across this province of Quebec that allow me to make this video with clean, renewable, zero emission energy. 63 dams which power the electricity in the laptop, which allow me to do clean, renewable, zero emission energy, this video, and to upload it. And the energy, electricity used is clean, renewable, zero emission, zero pollution. It enables me to do this video clean, renewable, in a zero polluting way. 63 dams. To see one of those dams or three dams or a citizen integration, citizens to fight alienation. Since 1984, about 1984, with the re-election of Ronald Reagan, the collective North American civilization and the world, the Western world for that matter, have global corporate technocratic financialized system has emerged. A global technocratic financialized system has emerged. A global corporate technocratic financialized system has emerged. And my theories, the implementation of my theories, trinity of theories, citizen integration theory, fusion theory, democratic fusion theory, trinity of theories. By the implementation of that trinity of theories, the creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragan Army, for security and service, with the International Integrated Dance League for pleasure and purpose, will address and will balance the global corporate technocratic financialized system. And so I'm calling for us to move towards a post-COVID economic, financial, commercial, philosophical, social, artistic, cultural, even spiritual and political system of pleasure and purpose. That's basically what I'm calling for us to break the impasse and implement my theories and create the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions in order to, of course, move towards a post-COVID economic, financial, commercial, social, philosophical, poetic, artistic, and spiritual system for pleasure and purpose. That's what the implementation of my theories will do with the creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions to move towards a post-COVID economic, financial, commercial, philosophical, artistic, poetic, spiritual, philosophical, artistic, social, and spiritual system for pleasure and purpose. That's what I'm calling for and advocating. With some humor and some comedy. And lots of kisses and lots of kissing. Lots of hugs. Lots of push-ups. Lots of squats. Lots of hawks. Lots of rapping. Maybe. Lots of marching. Some brain and some muscle, some brain and some muscle, some brain and some muscle, which yours truly, Adrian Hanna Dragan, has a little bit of each. Has a little bit of brain and a little bit of muscle. Have a little bit of brain and a little bit of muscle. But I'm not perfect. I got issues, got vices, got lust. Don't play it. Don't play the self-righteous card. I do wanna some good bacon and a good glass of wine and maybe some whiskey. I didn't buy Canadian whiskey in a long time. I've been on a budget during COVID. I didn't buy my whiskey. So XYZ, and calling all willingly loving to support this vision, this mission, the implementation of my trinity of theories, known as citizen integration theory, debt refusion theory, and democratic fusion theory. So create two complementary cooperative and covenant institutions, implement my theories, and create them therefore, and move towards a post-COVID economic, financial, commercial, spiritual, political, social, philosophical system for pleasure and purpose. That's what I'm calling for. Calling you all willingly loving. Love is action. Love is also action. Just blah blah blah. What can you offer? Service. Service, security. I can cook, I can clean, I can read, I can write, I can work out, I can dance, I can massage, I can kiss. And my own healing has required action. That's to break the impasse, to break the impasse, to break the impasse, and move towards this post-COVID world, a new world order, world peace, international justice, security, and ensured global freedom, freedom, justice, and peace. Attaining harmony between civilization and nature, it will require some action, some new creativity. I believe my creative theories and part of my creativity is in cooperation with all public and private institutions and organizations, which the Dancing Goddess, officially the International Integrated Dance League, and the International Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service Force, aka the Dragan Army, to be for security and service, to be integrated with all public and private institutions and organizations in parallel way, in a parallel way. And now we're going to be reading on Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. That was a good glass of milk. And we're gonna do some reading on Star Wars, since yours truly have began. I've watched for the first, I think, because of course I've lost a lot of memory in my paradoxically remember more from past lives, paradoxically remember more from past lives, paradoxically remember more from past lives, more than 7, 8, 9, 10 years in Hokkaido, Montreal, some years of struggle, suffering, and depression, and suicidal, blood, sweat, and tears. But paradoxically, during COVID, healing even more now as I'm speaking in the sun, sunlight, sun rays, and training some brain by doing this reading about Star Wars. So from what I do know, it is the first time that I've watched Star Wars. We've watched with my sister, with my anonymous friend and sister, with my anonymous friend and sister, who sometimes has been a teacher and sometimes is straightforward and direct with me and me with her maybe. But if I make $1, I give a half. If I make $1, I give a half. Make $1, give her half. It is Star Wars. So the Star Wars, I've watched episode 1 to 9. Watched 10 videos, 10 different movies, Star Wars movies, and tonight we're gonna watch the 11th. Tonight we're gonna watch the 11th. Tonight we're gonna watch the 11th. It's just gonna be Obi Wan Kenobi. And I've watched episodes 1 to 9, episodes 1 to 9, episodes 1 to 9, plus yesterday watched Han Solo, which are really good, really good, really good. I don't know if I'm going to become a die-hard fan, but my question to to the hardcore Star Wars cult-like fans, the hardcore cult-like fans of Star Wars, my question to the cult-like fans of Star Wars is this: how come Anakin Anakin was supposed to bring balance to the Force, and how come he becomes... I didn't fully understand how come Anakin was prophesied to bring balance to the Force. How come he becomes Darth Vader? How come Anakin was prophesied to become balance to the Force becomes Darth Vader? How come Anakin was prophesied to bring balance to the Force? How come he becomes Darth Vader? So Star Wars is an epic space opera multimedia franchise created by George Lucas, which began with the eponymous 1977 film and quickly became a worldwide pop culture phenomenon. Star Wars is an American epic space opera multimedia franchise created by George Lucas, which began with the eponymous 1977 film and quickly became a worldwide pop culture phenomenon. Star Wars is an American epic space opera multimedia franchise created by George Lucas, which began with the eponymous 1977 film and quickly became a worldwide pop culture phenomenon. The franchise has been expanded into various films and other media, including television series, video games, novels, comic books, theme park attractions, and theme areas, comprising an all-encompassing fictional universe. In 2020, its total value was estimated at 70 billion. 1 billion is 1,000 million, and is currently the fifth highest grossing media franchise of all time. The original film Star Wars retroactively subtitles Episode 4, A New Hope. Yes, because the other episodes. So I've watched Episode 4. I've watched Episode, what they've been retroactively subtitled Star Wars Episode 4. So I've watched Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 to 9, because they're all episodes 1 to 9, and then you have the one in between that are about Han Solo, how Han Solo became his life, and then about Obi Wan Kenobi and the other ones that we have. But I watched 10 total movies of the Star Wars franchise. With my sister, I've watched 10 movies, episode 1 to 9 plus Han Solo. Was followed by the sequels, episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back in 1980, and episode 6, Return of the Jedi, because it bounces back right in the timeline. It goes back. Episode 1 is before the episode 4 and so on in the timeline. That's why they're episodes, but these ones were later, were made these movies in 77. The episode of New Hope was made in 77, and this one was The Strikes Back, Empire Strikes Back in 1980, and episode 6, Return of the Jedi in 1983, forming the original Star Wars trilogy. So that was the original Star Wars trilogy. Lucas later returned to the series to direct the prequel trilogy, the prequel, yes. So it was prequels, basically what's called prequel, the prequel trilogy, consisting of episode 1 with the Phantom Menace, which was done in 1999. So this was done 22 years, from 1977 to 1999. It's 22 years before, after. But although it was done after episode 4, A New Hope, which was done in 1977, and this one was done in 1999, in the timeline it shows events earlier, right? So that's a bit of a paradox. It's kind of cool though. It's kind of a cool paradox. Although the movie was done 22 years later, it shows the events, what happened before A New Hope, or what's known as episode 4. Very cool. The Phantom Menace in 1999, then episode 2, Attack of the Clones in 2002, and episode 3, Revenge of the Sith in 2005. In 2012, Lucas sold his production company to Disney, relinquishing his ownership of the franchise. This led to a sequel trilogy consisting of episode 7, The Force Awakens, in 2015, which I've seen. So I've seen all the episodes, 1 to 9. Then episode 8, The Last Jedi in 2017, which I've seen. And then episode 9, which I've seen, saw it Monday, episode 9, this Monday, 2 days ago. Today's Wednesday. The Rise of Skywalker in 2019. So I've seen all 9 films plus the other one, the Solo, and tonight we're going to watch Obi Wan Kenobi. All 9 films of the Skywalker saga were nominated for Academy Awards. Wow. So all 9 of them were nominated for Academy Awards, with wins going to the first 2 releases, together with theatrical live-action anthology films Rogue One 2016 made, and Solo. So yesterday I watched this one, Solo, made in 2018. I watched it yesterday. 10 total. Tonight the 11th. The combined box office revenue of the films equated to over 10 billion US dollars, which makes it the second highest grossing film franchise of all time. Additional upcoming films are in the works, including an untitled movie from Taika Waititi planned for 2023 and Rogue Squadron directed by Patty Jenkins, which currently does not have a release date. Premise: the Star Wars franchise depicts the adventure of characters a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, in which humans and many species of aliens, often humanoid, coexist with robots, typically referred to in the film as droids, who may assist them in their daily routines. Space travel between planets is common due to light speed hyperspace technology, due to light speed hyperspace technology, due to light speed hyperspace technology. The planets range from wealthy planet-wide cities to deserts sparsely populated by primitive tribes. Virtually any Earth biome, along with many fictional ones, has its counterpart as a Star Wars planet which, in most cases, teem with sentient and non-sentient alien life. The franchise also makes use of other astronomical objects such as asteroid fields and nebulae. Spacecraft range from small starfighters to huge capital ships such as star destroyers, to space stations such as moon-sized Death Stars. Telecommunications. Telecommunication includes two-way audio and audiovisual screens, holographic projections, and HoloNet. HOLN, HoloNet, Internet counterpart. HoloNet, Internet counterpart. The universe of Star Wars is generally similar to ours, but its laws of physics are less strict, allowing for more imaginative stories. One result of that is a mystical power known as the Force. One result of that is a mystical power known as the Force. One result of that is a mystical power known as the Force, which is described in the original film as an energy field created by all living things. An energy field created by all living things. An energy field created by all living things that binds the galaxy together. The field is depicted as a kind of pantheistic god. The field is depicted as a kind of pantheistic god. The field is depicted as a kind of pantheistic god. Through training and meditation, those whom the Force is strong with exhibit various superpowers, such as telekinesis, precognition, telepathy, and manipulation of physical energy. It is believed nothing is impossible for the Force. Through training and meditation, those whom the Force is strong with exhibit various superpowers, such as telekinesis, precognition, telepathy, and manipulation of physical energy. The field is depicted as a kind of pantheistic god. Through training and meditation, those whom the Force is strong with exhibit various superpowers such as telekinesis, precognition, telepathy, and manipulation of physical energy. It is believed nothing is impossible for the Force. The mentioned powers are wielded by two major knightly, Knightly, knightly like a knight, orders at conflict with each other. The field of the Force, an energy that binds all living things together, or that binds the galaxy together, and the field is depicted as a kind of pantheistic god. Through training and meditation, those whom the Force is strong with exhibit various superpowers such as telekinesis, precognition, telepathy, and manipulation of physical energy. It is believed nothing is impossible for the Force. The mentioned powers are wielded by two major knightly orders at conflict with each other. The Jedi, peacekeepers of the Galactic Republic, who act on the light side of the Force through non-attachment and arbitration, and the Sith, who use the dark side by manipulating fear and aggression. Interesting. Very Kabbalistic and Thelemic, even. Kabbalistic, Thelemic. Very Kabbalistic and Thelemic. And other spiritual traditions as well. But the manipulation of the Force, or the use of the Force, and the forces within the Force. So through training and meditation, those whom the Force is strong with exhibit various superpowers such as telekinesis, precognition, telepathy, and manipulation of physical energy. It is believed nothing is impossible for the Force. The mentioned powers are wielded by two major knightly orders at conflict with each other. The Jedi, peacekeepers of the Galactic Republic, who act on the light side of the Force through non-attachment and arbitration, and the Sith, who use the dark side by manipulating fear and aggression. The mentioned powers of manipulation of physical energy, telepathy, precognition, and telekinesis, that is, are wielded by two major knightly orders, an institution, organization, knightly orders, at conflict with each other. The Jedi, peacekeepers of the Galactic Republic who act on the light side of the Force through non-attachment and arbitration, and the Sith, who use the dark side by manipulating fear and aggression, and the Sith, who use the dark side by manipulating fear and aggression, While Jedi Knights can be numerous, the Dark Lords of the Sith, or darts, are intended to be limited to two, a master and their apprentice. While Jedi Knights can be numerous, the Dark Lords of the Sith are intended to be limited to two, a master and their apprentice. While Jedi Knights can be numerous, the Dark Lords of the Sith, or darts, are intended to be limited to two, a master and their apprentice. Another notable fictional element of Star Wars is hyperspace, an alternate dimension that allows faster than light travel. Force wielders are very limited in numbers in comparison to the population. The Jedi and Sith prefer the use of a weapon called the lightsaber, a blade of plasma that can cut through virtually any surface and deflect energy bolts. The rest of the population, as well as renegades and soldiers, use plasma-powered blaster firearms. As a result, the galaxy's scaled politics involving republics, empires, kingdoms, alliances, etc. All this weaponry is made use of its various military conflicts, during which most Star Wars material takes place. In the outer reaches of the galaxy, crime syndicates such as the Hutt cartel are dominant. In the outer reaches of the galaxy, crime syndicates such as the Hutt cartel are dominant. In the outer reaches of the galaxy, crime syndicates such as the Hutt cartel are dominant. Bounty hunters are often employed by both gangsters and governments. Illicit activities include smuggling and slavery. Illicit activities include smuggling and slavery. Illicit activities include smuggling and slavery. The combination of science fiction and fantasy elements makes Star Wars a very universal franchise, capable of telling stories of various genres. I'm going to read it once again on the Sith and the Jedi. The universe of Star Wars is generally similar to ours, but its laws of physics are less strict, allowing for more imaginative stories. The one result of that is a mystical power known as the Force, which is described in the original film as an energy field created by all living things that binds the galaxy together. The field is depicted as a kind of pantheistic god. Through training and meditation, those whom the Force is strong with exhibit various superpowers such as telekinesis, precognition, telepathy, and manipulation of physical energy. It is believed nothing is impossible for the Force. The mentioned powers of manipulation of physical energy, telepathy, precognition, and telekinesis are wielded by two major knightly orders at conflict with each other. The Jedi, who are the peacekeepers of the Galactic Republic who act on the light side of the Force through non-attachment and arbitration, and the Sith, who use the dark side by manipulating fear and aggression. While Jedi Knights can be numerous, the Dark Lords of the Sith, or darts, are intended to be limited to two, a master and their apprentice. Another notable fictional element of Star Wars is hyperspace, an alternate dimension that allows faster than light travel. Force wielders are very limited in numbers in comparison to the population. Force wielders are very limited in numbers in comparison to the population. Force wielders are very limited in number in comparison to the population. The Jedi and Sith prefer the use of a weapon called the lightsaber, a blade of plasma that can cut through virtually any surface and deflect energy bolts. The lightsabers. The rest of the population, as well as renegades and soldiers, use plasma-powered blaster firearms as a result of galaxy-scale politics involving republics, empires, kingdoms, alliances, etc. All this weaponry is made use of various military conflicts during which most of Star Wars material takes place in the outer reaches of the galaxy. The combination of science fiction and fantasy elements makes Star Wars a very universal franchise, capable of telling stories of various genres. Star Wars, known as so far, was released May 25th, 1977, director George Lucas. Empire Strikes Back May 21st, 1980, and Return of the Jedi May 25th. May 25th. May 25th. May 25th. The Return of the Jedi, May 25th, 1983. Phantom Menace, May 19, 1999. Attack of the Clones, May 16, 2002. Revenge of the Sith, May 19, 2005. The Force Awakens, December 18, 2015. The Last Jedi, December 15, 2017. Rise of Skywalker, December 20th, 2019. Rogue One, December 16, 2016. Solo, May 25th, 2018. The Clone Wars, August 10, 2008. Untitled Star Wars film, a late 2023. Rogue Squadron to be announced. The Star Wars film series centers around three sets of trilogies, the 9 films of which collectively referred to as the Skywalker saga, which I've seen. So they were produced not chronologically, with episodes 4 to 6, the original trilogy, being released between 1997 and 1983. Episodes 1 to 3, the prequel trilogy, being released between 1999 and 2005. And episodes 7 to 9, the sequel trilogy, being released between 2015 and 2019. Each trilogy focuses on a generation of the Force-sensitive Skywalker family. The original trilogy depicts the heroic development of Luke Skywalker. The prequel tells the backstory of his father Anakin, while the sequels feature Luke's nephew Ben Solo and Luke's protege Rey. An anthology series set between the main episodes entered development in parallel to the production of the sequel trilogy, described by Disney Chief Financial Officer (CFO) Jay Rasula's original stories. The first entry, Rogue One 2016, tells the story of the rebels who steal the Death Star plans just before Episode 4. Solo 2018 focuses on Han Solo's backstory, also featuring original trilogy co-protagonist Chewbacca and Lando Kenan, involving prequel trilogy villain Darth Maul. Prequel trilogy villain Darth Maul. The Skywalker Saga. In 1971, George Lucas wanted to film an adaptation of the Flash Gordon serial but could not obtain the rights, so he began developing his own space opera. After directing American Graffiti in 1973, he wrote a 2-page synopsis, which 25 20th Century Fox depicted to invest in. By 1974, he had expanded the story into the first draft of a screenplay. The 1977 movie's success led to Lucas to make it the basis of an elaborate film serial. With the backstory he created for the sequel, Lucas decided that the series would be a trilogy of trilogies. Most of the main cast would return for the two additional installments of the original trilogy, which were self-financed by Lucasfilm. Star Wars was released on May 25, 1977, and first subtitled Episode 4, A New Hope, in the 1979 book The Art of Star Wars. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, was released on May 21, 1980, also achieving wide financial and critical success. The final film in the trilogy, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, was released on May 25, 1983. The story of the original trilogy focuses on Luke Skywalker's quest to become a Jedi. He struggled with the evil Imperial agent Darth Vader. And the struggle of the Rebel Alliance to free the galaxy from the clutches of the Galactic Empire. Prequel trilogy. According to producer Gary Kurtz, loose plans for a prequel trilogy were developed during the outlining of the original two films. In 1980, Lucas confirmed that he had the 9-film series plotted, but due to the stress of producing the original trilogy, he had decided to cancel further sequels by 1981. In 1983, Lucas explained that there was never a script completed that had the entire story as it exists now. As the stories unfolded, I would take certain ideas and save them. I kept taking on all the good parts, and I just kept telling myself I would make other movies someday. Technical advances in the late 1980s and early 1990s, including the ability to create computer-generated imagery, CGI, inspired Lucas to consider that it might be possible to revisit his saga. In 1989, Lucas stated that the prequels would be unbelievably expensive. In 1992, he acknowledged that he had plans to create the prequel trilogy, a theatrical re-release re-release of the original trilogy in 1997, updated the 20-year-old films with the style of CGI envisioned for the new trilogy. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was released on May 19, 1999, and Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, on May 16, 2002. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, the first PG-13 film in the franchise, was released on May 19, 2005. The first two movies were met with mixed reviews, with the third being received somewhat more positively. The trilogy begins 32 years before Episode 4 and follows the Jedi training of Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father, and his eventual fall from grace and transformation into the Sith Lord Darth Vader. Yeah, this is having trouble understanding how come exactly. Kind of a little bit, but what do you hardcore die fans think? Hardcore die fans think? Follows Jedi training of Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father, and his eventual fall from grace and transformation into the Sith Lord Darth Vader. The trilogy begins 32 years before Episode 4 and follows the Jedi training of Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father, and his eventual fall from grace and transformation into the Sith Lord called Darth Vader, as well as the corruption of the Galactic Republic and rise of the Empire led by Darth Sidious. Together with the original trilogy, Lucas has collectively referred to the first 6 episodes films of the franchise as the tragedy of Darth Vader, but spoiler alert, there's a redemption. There's a fall, there is a redemption. You gotta see, because there's spoiler alert here. I should have said spoiler alert. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm doing now. Sequel trilogy. Prior to releasing the original film and made possible by its success, Lucas planned 3 trilogies of 9 films. However, he announced to Time in 1978 that he planned 10 sequels. He confirmed that he had outlined the prequels and sequels in 1981. outlined the prequels and sequels in 1981. Outlined the prequels and sequels in 1981. At various stages of development, the sequel trilogy was to focus on the rebuilding of the Republic, the return of Luke in a role similar to that of Obi Wan in the original trilogy, Luke's sister, not yet determined to be Leia, Han, Leia, R2-D2, and 3CPO. However, after beginning work on the prequel trilogy, Lucas insisted that Star Wars was meant to be a six-part series and that there would be no sequel trilogy. Lucas decided to leave the franchise in the hands of other filmmakers, announcing in January 2012 that he would make no more Star Wars films. That October, the Walt Disney Company agreed to buy Lucasfilms and announced that Episode 7 would be released in 2015. The co-chairman of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, became president and served as executive producer of new Star Wars feature films. Lucas provided Kennedy the story treatments for the sequels during 2022 sale, but in 2015 it was revealed Lucas' sequel outline had been discarded. The sequel trilogy also meant the end of the existing Star Wars expanded universe, which was discarded from canon to give maximum creative freedom to the filmmakers and also preserve an element of surprise and discovery for the audience. Episode 7, The Force Awakens, was released on December 16, 2015. Episode 8, The Last Jedi, on December 13, 2017. And Episode 9, which I've just seen 2 days ago, Monday night. The Rise of Skywalker, on December 18, 2019 in many countries. The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi were both critical and box office successes. Episode 9 received a mixed reception from critics and audiences. The sequel trilogy starts 30 years after Episode 6 and focuses on the journey of the Force-sensitive orphan Rey, guided by Luke Skywalker, along with ex-Stormtrooper Finn and ace X-Wing pilot Poe Dameron. Rey helps the Resistance, led by Leia, fight the First Order, commanded by Han and Leia's son, Luke's nephew, Kylo Ren. Anthology films. Lucasfilm and Kennedy have stated that the standalone films would be referred to as the Star Wars Anthology series, though the word anthology has not been used in any of the titles, instead carrying the promotional Star Wars story subtitle, focused on how the rebels obtained the Death Star plans introduced in the 1977 film. The first anthology film, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, was released on December 16, 2016 to favorable reviews and box office success. The second, Solo, A Star Wars Story, centered on a young Han Solo with Chewbacca and Lando as supporting characters, was released on May 25, 2018 to generally favorable reviews and underperformance at the box office. The television series Obi Wan Kenobi was originally going to be a film instead, but charged to a limited series due to Solo underperforming. Despite this, more anthology films are expected to be released following a hiatus after 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. Now we're gonna go read about the Force. The Force in Star Wars. The Force is a metaphysical and ubiquitous power of the Star Wars fictional universe. Force-sensitive characters use the Force throughout the franchise. Heroes like the Jedi seek to become one with the Force, matching their personal wills with the will of the Force. This is very Kabbalistic Talimic. This is very Kabbalistic Talimic. This is very Kabbalistic Talimic. Seek to become one with the Force, matching their personal wills with the will of the Force. While the Sith and other villains exploit the Force and try to bend it toward their destructive desires. The Force has been compared to aspects of several world religions, and the phrase "May the Force be with you" has become part of the popular cultural vernacular. The Force is a metaphysical and ubiquitous power in the Star Wars fictional universe. Force-sensitive characters use the Force throughout the franchise. Heroes like the Jedi seek to become one with the Force, matching their personal wills with the will of the Force, while the Sith and other villains exploit the Force and try to bend it toward their destructive desires. The Force has been compared to aspects of several world religions, and the phrase "May the Force be with you" has become part of the popular cultural vernacular. The Force is a metaphysical and ubiquitous power in the Star Wars fictional universe. Force-sensitive characters use the Force throughout the franchise. Heroes like the Jedi seek to become one with the Force, matching their personal wills with the will of the Force, while the Sith and other villains exploit the Force and try to bend it toward their destructive desires. The Force has been compared to aspects of several world religions, and the phrase "May the Force be with you" has become part of the popular cultural vernacular. So the Force, concept and development. George Lucas created the concept of the Force to address character and plot development in Star Wars in 1997. He also wanted to awaken a certain kind of spirituality in young audiences, suggesting a belief in God without endorsing any specific religion. He also wanted to awaken a certain kind of spirituality in young audiences, suggesting a belief in God without endorsing any specific religion. He also wanted to awaken a certain kind of spirituality in young audiences, suggesting a belief in God without endorsing any specific religion. He developed the Force as a non-denominational religious concept distilled from the essence of all religions. Wow, wow, wow. He developed the Force as a non-denominational religious concept distilled from the essence of all religions. He developed the Force as a non-denominational religious concept distilled from the essence of all religions, premised on the existence of God, but also where the goddess at, and distinct ideas of good and evil, and should be in between, right? In black and white, lots of gray and hopefully rainbow. Between the black and the white, there's gray and hopefully lots of rainbow. Between the black and the white, there's gray and there's should be lots of rainbow. Lucas said there's a conscious choice between good and bad, and the world works better if you're on the good side. In 1970s San Francisco, where Lucas lived when he wrote the drafts that became Star Wars, New Age ideas that incorporated the concept of Qi, 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 to ancient Chinese metaphysical concept, and other notions of a mystical life force were in the air and widely embraced. The Qi. I'm somewhat familiar with the concept of the Qi. As a universal spiritual teaching student, I'm not perfect. I'm not totally selfless. I admit that I have some selfish side. I try to be in the balance and for the greater good, for the greater good, for the greater good, and with a foot hopefully in the higher self. I'll stay with a foot in the middle rather than both feet in the lower self, right? I incorporated the concept of Qi and other notions of a mystical life force were in the air and widely embraced. Lucas used the term the Force to echo its uses by cinematographer Roman Kroitor, Roman Kroitor, Roman Kroitor, in Arthur's Lipset 2187 from 1963, which Kroitor, Kroitor. Kroitor says, many people feel that in the contemplation of nature and in communication with other living things, they become aware of some kind of force or something behind this apparent mask which we see in front of us, and they call it God. Although Lucas had Kroitor's line in mind specifically, Lucas said that the underlying sentiment is universal and that similar phrases have been used extensively by many different people for the last 13,000 years. The first draft of Star Wars makes two references to the force of others and does not explain the concept. King Kaiyosh, he utters the blessing, "May the force of others be with you all." And he later says, "I feel the force also." The first draft, "Fear the force also." The power of the force of others is kept secret by the Jedi Bendu of the Ansla, an aristocratic cult in the second draft. The second draft offers a lengthy explanation of the force of others and introduces its Ashla light side and Bogan dark side. The Ashla and Bogan mentioned 10 and 31 times, respectively, and the force of others plays a more prominent role in the story. In this draft, Luke Starkiller's mission is to retrieve the Kyber crystal. In this draft, Luke Starkiller's mission is to retrieve the Kyber crystal. In this draft, Luke Starkiller's mission is to retrieve the Kyber crystal, which can intensify either the Ashla or Bogan powers. The film's shorter third draft has no reference to the Ashla, but it mentioned the Bogan 8 times, and Luke is still driven to recover the crystal, the Kyber crystal. Lucas finished the fourth and near final draft on January 1st, 1976. This version trims the force of others to the force, makes a single reference to the force seductive dark side, distills an explanation of the force to 28 words, and eliminates the Kyber crystal. Producer Gary Kurtz, who studied comparative religion in college, had long discussions with Lucas about religion and philosophy throughout the writing process. Kurtz told Lucas he was unhappy with drafts in which the force was connected with the Kyber crystal, and he was also dissatisfied with the early Ashland Bogan concept. Lucas and screenwriter Lade Brackett decided that the force and the Emperor would be the main concerns in The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. The focus on the Emperor was later shifted to Return of the Jedi in 1983, and the dark side of the Force was treated as The Empire Strikes Back's main villain. The act of living generates a force field, an energy. That energy surrounds us. When we die, the energy joins with all the other energy. There's a giant mass of energy in the universe that has a good side and bad side. We are part of the force because we generate the power that makes the force live. When we die, we become part of that force. So we never really die. We continue as part of the force. George Lucas. And now we're going to go on the Sith. The Sith. The Sith are the main antagonists of the many works in the fictional universe of Star Wars. They are the antithesis and ancient enemies of the Jedi. They are the antithesis and ancient enemies of the Jedi. They are the antithesis and ancient enemies of the Jedi. They are the antithesis and ancient enemies of the Jedi. The Sith Order are depicted as an ancient monastic and kratocratic cultist organization of supernaturally gifted force wielders, driven by a Machiavellian imperialist agenda of galactic domination and revenge against the Jedi Order. The Sith Order are depicted as an ancient monastic and kratocratic, K-R-A-T-E-R-O-C-R-A-T-I-C. It's a word, so they are. The Sith Order are depicted as an ancient monastic and kratocratic, K-R-A-T-E-R-O-C-R-A-T-I-C, kratocratic. So kratocratic is basically the belief that might makes right, that might is right. So that is what kratocratic, K-R-A-T-E-R-O-C-R-A-T-I-C. They are monastic and kratocratic cultist organization of supernaturally gifted force wielders, driven by Machiavellian imperialist agenda of galactic domination and revenge against the Sith Order. Machiavellian imperialists, so they're imperialists. So they believe in might is right. The various antagonist franchise, namely the Separatist Alliance, the First Galactic Empire, the Imperial Remnant, and the First Order, all originated either directly or indirectly from the Sith. The various antagonistic factions in the franchise, namely the Separatist Alliance, the First Galactic Empire, the Imperial Remnant, and the First Order, all originated either directly or indirectly from the Sith. The various antagonistic factions in the franchise, namely the Separatist Alliance, the First Galactic Empire, the Imperial Remnant, and the First Order, all originated either directly or indirectly from the Sith. Sith are ruthless and totalitarian by design, in which a supreme autocratic authority is concentrated in a single individual granted the honorific Dark Lord of the Sith. Sith are ruthless and totalitarian by design, in which a supreme autocratic authority, so they're totalitarian and authoritarian, authority is concentrated in a single individual granted the honorific as in an honor, Dark Lord of the Sith. Sith are ruthless and totalitarian by design, in which a supreme autocratic authority is concentrated in a single individual granted the honorific Dark Lord of the Sith. Sith culture is of perpetual self-destruction and reinvention. 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 Transfer of power is conducted through state-sanctioned assassinations. When a Sith Lord grows complacent and exhibits weakness, they are eventually killed, wherein their property and authority transferred to the apprentice who killed them. Wherein their property and authority transferred to the apprentice who killed them. Wherein their property and authority transferred to the apprentice who killed them. Lord grows complacent and exhibits weakness, they are eventually killed, wherein their property and authority transferred to the apprentice who killed them. Robberies, betrayal, and sabotage are commonplace. Murder is acceptable so long as the culprit is not caught. Sith teach their apprentices to revere the dark side of the Force and to believe that the galaxy was theirs to rule by cosmic right. The Kratocratic, Kratocratic system ensures that Sith society nurtures some of the most vicious, uncompetitive individuals in the galaxy and is only governed by those strong enough to seize control. Kratocratic system. Hardcore